There are certain rules people grow up hearing, but rarely take seriously, like not whistling at night, not staring into mirrors too long, or never walking alone after 3 a.m. But for Ethan Hale, there was only one rule that was carved into him since childhood. Never look behind you when you hear your name whispered. His grandmother used to whisper it like a prayer, trembling as she told him, "Things that call you are not always things that love you." As a kid, he laughed it off, but she never did. And when she died, she left behind only one thing for him, a sealed letter saying, "If you hear it, run. And don't turn back." Ethan kept it in a drawer and never thought about it again, not until the night the whisper finally found him. It started during a late-night editing session in his apartment. He was working on a college documentary about urban legends, ironically enough. His window was open, the curtains swayed gently, and his room glowed with soft blue monitor light. Everything felt normal until around 2:47 a.m., when his headphones picked up a faint static, like something brushing past the microphone. Then he heard it, not through his ears, but inside them, a soft, breathy murmur that carried the shape of his name. Ethan. His entire body stiffened. His first instinct was to rip his headphones off, but when he did, the whisper continued. Soft at first, then clearer. "Ethan, don't ignore me." His blood turned cold. He didn't move. He didn't breathe. His grandmother's words rang in his skull, loud and urgent. He tried to focus on his desk, his laptop, the floor, anywhere but the space behind him. He could feel the sudden heaviness in the air, as if something stood inches from his neck, leaning in, waiting. His heartbeat pounded, so loud he thought it would explode. The whisper grew closer, too close. "Look behind you," it breathed, almost playful. Ethan bolted out of his chair, not looking back for even a millisecond. He sprinted into the hallway, slammed his door shut, and leaned against it, trembling. His chest heaved as the whispering stopped just as suddenly as it began. He stayed like that for 10 minutes, willing himself to calm down. His neighbors would think he lost his mind if they saw him. After all, who runs from a whisper? But he knew better. His grandmother always did. When he finally dared to move again, he grabbed his keys, phone, and jacket and left the building entirely. The cold night air felt safe, grounding. For a while, he walked to the old bench across the street, trying to rationalize what had happened. Stress? Lack of sleep? His headphones glitching? Maybe his imagination ran wild in the quiet of the night. Maybe. He tried to convince himself. But then he saw it. Across the street. On his bedroom window. A silhouette. Not moving. Not human. It stood against the window like a tall, crooked shadow. Head tilted unnaturally. As though it was waiting for him to return. As though it knew he wasn't looking directly at it. Ethan froze. He didn't blink. Didn't turn. Didn't even breathe. His instinct told him that if he broke eye contact with the window, or worse, if he dared to glance behind him, he wouldn't survive the night. The shadow lifted a long, thin hand and tapped on the glass. Once. Twice. Then, the whisper echoed again, this time from the street around him. "Ethan, come back, look behind you." He ran again, across the street, past alleys, down empty roads, anywhere that wasn't home. His vision blurred. His breath burned. He didn't stop until he reached his old family house, abandoned after his grandmother's death. He still had the spare key. He rushed inside and slammed the door, collapsing to the floor. Dust filled the air, and the silence was thick. Too thick. The house felt untouched, frozen in time. And then he saw the letter again, the one his grandmother left him, sitting on the old coffee table, as if placed there minutes ago. He knew he didn't put it there. His hands shook as he opened it for the first time. Inside was a single page. "It will call you when you turn 22. It feeds on attention, on fear. Looking behind yourself gives it shape. If you never look, it can't take you. Don't break the rule. If it follows you home tonight, go to the basement. It can't cross the threshold below." Ethan felt ice pour into his spine. Something creaked in the hallway. A soft drag on the wooden floor. Slow. Deliberate. Like something with two long limbs inching closer. The whisper came again from behind the living room doorway. Ethan, it was no longer playful. It was hungry. His grandmother knew this night would come. She knew it would find him. And she knew exactly where he needed to go. Ethan grabbed the old lantern from the shelf, lit it with shaking hands, and rushed to the basement door. The knocking started before he reached it, loud, violent pounding on the walls behind him. He didn't look. Not even once. He yanked open the basement door, stumbled down the stairs, and slammed it shut above him. The whispers scratched at the door, angry now. Furious. Look behind you. Look. He pressed his back against the cold wall, sliding to the floor, covering his ears as the pounding grew harsher, deeper. Then suddenly silence. The quiet was worse. He sat there for minutes, maybe hours, too scared to move. Too scared to breathe. Finally, with trembling fingers, he reached for his phone and turned on the front camera, a trick his grandmother once told him. If you must know, use a mirror. Never your own eyes. He held the screen up slowly, pointing the camera behind him. At first, there was only darkness. Then something long and pale crawled into the frame. Not human. Not animal. It unfolded behind him like a crooked marionette, joints bending the wrong way, face stretched into a hollow grin with no eyes. And it whispered so faintly through the phone speakers, you looked. The basement lights burst. His phone shut off. Something cold touched the back of his neck. Neighbors found the old Hale house door open the next morning, the basement empty, and Ethan Hale missing. The only thing left behind was his phone, screen cracked, camera still open, recording an endless black frame. The police never found a single trace of him, no footprints, no signs of struggle, nothing. Just one eerie detail. Every officer who entered the basement swore they heard someone whisper their name. But they never turned around.